She said, what?
How could they do something like that?
Are you serious?
What a thirsty MFer.
Not good. She's absolutely dead to me.
That's because she died.
I'm Sterling Mulberry.
And I'm Blair Payton. And welcome to
Bad Behavior, a morally questionable podcast.
We're two unqualified friends,
Two unhinged comedians,
determined once and for all what is good
and what is bad. Hello and welcome to Bad Behavior. I'm Sterling Mulberry.
And I'm Blair Payton. What time is it near you, by the way?
5:42. It's getting dark. I was going to say really cloudy.
I was going to say this is the darkest I've ever seen you lit.
I know. I don't really know how to make me brighter. I have all the lights on.
Oh, I can still see you. It's like mood lighting.
Yeah, it's doing something.
I wish you just had like a nice little cocktail that you'd be like, oh, honey.
Oh, honey.
It's giving oh, honey vibes.
I love it. Well, this last week has been so busy, Blair. I feel like I have 1,000 things to tell you. I have been running around. I got my damn friend engaged. And by that, I mean, I was at a proposal. And
why?
Don't say it like that.
Well,
Beautiful.
I mean, did they have like an audience? Like,
yeah. I was a heckler.
Okay.
No, my friend, I helped out. I hid in a bush up on a hill. I hiked. Me and my friend, we went up together. We hiked up a hill. We hid in a bush so I could take photos of it. And we were so quiet. She did not know we were there. Then we threw her the next day a huge surprise engagement party. All of our friends flew in. My one dear friend famously texted us on the plane, I'm extremely sick, which was sick. And then we're all sick now, which is so cool.
That's fun.
No, we love you. We love you, girl. But it was really fun. I kayaked with some sea otters. So cute.
Well, my weekend was not quite as eventful. Jimmy had COVID.
You don't have, you have to I guess this is coming out a little late, but Blair did not get COVID. Really was.
Yeah, so a couple.
I still think I think you got it. I think that was COVID.
We failed to mention this last week on the show, but if you listen to our Halloween Spooktacular, there was a little bit of a COVID scare. So I did not have COVID, but Jimmy, my boyfriend, did have COVID.
But how long do you test for, Blair? Like, how many tests do you do?
I did like 2.
2?
Yeah.
I would have done more than that.
Okay. Well, I mean, I was happy with both results. I was like, okay, I'm healthy.
So you just stopped.
I'm killing it. I'm crushing it. But no, this past weekend, paled in comparison. So I did nothing. I mostly worked all weekend. And then I spent last night, follow me, ladies, I defrosted my freezer. It only took 3 hours. Can you believe that?
I didn't understand why your freezer got so frosty.
I don't either. Okay, so someone was like, did you leave the door open? And I said, yes, but that was only after I couldn't shut it anymore. So the ice was growing, and then it got to a point where I couldn't shut the door. So I was like, I need to take matters into my own hand.
Yeah.
And it only took 3 hours to defrost, and I was so happy with the results that like periodically through the night, I would just open my freezer, and I'm like, damn, I did this, you know?
Isn't it a little stinky to smell a defrosting fridge? Oh, yours wasn't like that.
What smelly ass ice do you have in your fridge? I keep a tidy house.
I've walked into a room that has an unplugged fridge in it before, and it always has a little certain smell.
No, mine didn't. I took everything out. I put it in a nice little cooler. This is a little trick. This is me being a happy homemaker, but I saw this on the Maytag website. But what you need to do is, if you have the same issue I did, what I did was, because I have a small freezer, so I took a frying pan and I boiled water, and then I stuck that mother right in there. So that helped to alleviate, some of the ice and get it all soft. And, so I'm so good at everything.
Wow, what a fun weekend that
I know.
Sounds like.
So guys, sound off below who had the better weekend. Crush it.
You are crushing it. That is so true.
So, real quick, Sterling.
Yes.
We are going to be doing another Listener Conundrums episode.
So true. So if you are maybe a listener listening right now, and you have a story where it's maybe hard to tell if you were in the right or the wrong that you would love Blair and I to decide about, please give us a call. Our number is 929-390-1436. That number will also be in the description of this episode. Or if you're like, I really don't want my voice to be on this podcast, you can also write in via like text message to that number as well. I'm so excited, by the way, for our guest today. I've known this girl for a long time. We couldn't quite figure out how long we've known each other, but I think the year was 2017.
All we know is you guys went to the same show at that boat place. You'll hear more about that in a second.
You'll hear more. No spoilers. But she's so funny. You can see her in shows in LA and New York. Please welcome our friend, Leanne Velednitsky. Well, Leanne, thank you so much for coming on Bad Behavior today. We're so excited to have you on. She threw up a little peace sign.
Just so you know, it is a podcast. You need to use your words. But we loved the friendly smile and the peace sign. That was nice.
How are you feeling today, Leanne? What's been going on?
I don't mean to bring this crazy energy into this moment, but I, earlier this week, like on Monday, woke up and there were just like 40 flies in my apartment. Like big flies, like house flies. Something hatched and the girls came to roost.
Can I ask a follow-up question?
Yeah, you may. Is that the saying?
How would you describe your cleanliness?
Really good. Okay, so actually don't come for me.
Okay.
Actually don't come for me
just
yet.
a question.
This is not my moral story.
Okay. I just
not yet.
I will say there's something about LA and a big black fly, because never in my life have I even had so many big black flies in my home. My roommate and I are swatting all the time. It's not like an infestation, but I think there's something with how hot it's been in LA and the black flies. So I don't want you to feel shame.
I don't necessarily feel shame, but I definitely feel judged. But
like we don't want you to feel like you're disgusting. Like
we just like to get the facts.
And I don't feel that, but I am.
And you're like, I didn't
sure
use
that's
those
true.
words, but okay. So basically, Monday morning you woke up to 40 flies, and so then what's been your week so far? Kind of smashing
40 flies. And personally, I've never seen a fly in this apartment, and I also don't really open the windows because I love my air conditioning and I love spending money. So I woke up 40 flies, and I am like, this is just an outbreak. It's an infestation. It's a fungus that I've got to get rid of. So I've sort of spent the week murdering flies.
What's your method of murder? Is it sticky or swatter?
I made a few potions, as I like to call them, of apple cider vinegar and
classic.
Dish soap, and then I got a spray bottle and I put it in a spray bottle and I've been spraying them down, and then also I have like a dish towel that I'm using to whack them. But the point being that I'm like at the end of my murderous rampage, and it's sort of like looking around my apartment. I haven't really picked up the remains yet, so it's just sort of like a cemetery of flies that have sort of slowly died.
Well, I think that's a good idea because it shows the other flies like what they're coming into. They were like, oh shit, we got a bolt. It's sending a message.
Exactly.
So Leanne and I met at a famous institution for listeners called the Operating Systems Brigade.
Mm-hmm.
Slay
Yes.
Queen.
And I was trying to even remember when.
I don't know if you and I took a class together.
No, we did, Leanne.
We did?
Okay, 401 had Caroline.
Maybe 401.
Bond.
I literally don't remember. How do you remember that?
I don't know.
She talks about it all the time.
This is good for our listeners.
She lives in that. She loves that time period. We talked about it the other day.
So, Leanne, you've been performing in Los Angeles and New York.
Yeah, famously bi-coastal.
So, I recently saw you perform.
Where?
On an iconic show where we sat in boats as the audience members.
Oh, yeah.
Leanne performed in this show where the audience member seats were boats.
It was a boat show.
I decided not to sit in the little canoe, but that was an option for me. And then Leanne and I went and sat in the back. And a couple of things happened during this show that were scary.
How many boats were in this facility?
A lot.
Yeah, it was a bar that was like boat vibes.
But yeah, I feel like at that show, I feel like a lot of things went down at that show. Number one, the bartender and you got into a feud.
Yeah, we had an all-out feud on the streets, feuding.com. No, he just didn't have anything gluten-free for me whatsoever. And
he basically was like, you can leave.
You can leave.
Yep. Leanne was
Completely.
doing, I'm guessing, maybe they paid you handsomely, but I would say probably a small sum or free comedy. And then you wait after, I can't remember if you'd gone or not. And then basically out of the bartender, you're like, anything for me? And they were like, you can go. You can leave. We don't have anything for you. He was pissed.
He wasn't like pissed as hell, but he was like my establishment is not built for you sort of vibe. And he was like, you can go down the street, buy yourself a seltzer, and then come the hell back if you really want to get drunk as hell.
What a fun vibe this place is presenting. Boats, a dick owner.
Leanne
wow.
also pointed out during this show something that I have come to know about myself, which is I'm bad at laughing. I don't laugh at shows, and my face says it all.
It was just kind of, there's like resting bitch face, but this was like resting uninterested face. If that makes sense.
Yep. No, I know.
Yeah,
I've seen that face when she's talking to me. I'll be talking to her and she's like, you done?
There's just some comedy. It's hard.
But
it's like,
so
what do you do?
engaged. You were so engaged though. That's what's the dichotomy of it. Is like you're staring with every fiber in your being, but it looks like you are the most uncomfortable you've ever been in your life and upset.
When you go to shows, are you a friendly, do you laugh abundantly?
I'm like a mother at a soccer game. I'm like, yay, you're doing it.
This is my fake laugh for when I go to shows. Okay, ready?
That's actually pretty good.
Thank you.
Really good.
You can never tell if I'm faking because being on stage, I hate the quietness. So I just, even if they suck, I'm like, oh my God, more,
Feel the whoa with Listerine at BJ's. You can save $2.50 now on Listerine products like Total Care Anti-Cavity Fluoride Fresh Mint Mouthwash or Cool Mint Pocket Packs Fresh Breath Strips at your nearest BJ's location. Experience the feeling of a million germs zapped in seconds with Listerine. Discount available through December 24th. Save now only at BJ's.
Don't forget that your skin is your largest organ, and the sun can be your skin's worst enemy. Dermatologist recommended Neutrogena products offer the ultimate protection for your skin. From makeup remover wipes to Hydro Boost Water Gel Facial Moisturizer, BJ's has your entire lineup of Neutrogena skincare products. And now through December 3rd, save $4 on any Neutrogena product at BJ's. Love your skin back and save now through December 3rd, only at BJ's.
So you have this show, Exhaustion Power Hour, in which you're doing all kinds of stuff on stage. You're doing all kinds of workouts, and you're exhausted. By the end, you're huffing and puffing. Wait, am I remembering correctly? At your last show, did something happen?
I vomited 4 times in my mouth, but I swallowed it down like a big bad bitch.
Like a big bad bitch. On stage, you swallowed.
Yeah. Everybody who I told that to was like, I wish you had thrown up on stage. And I'm like, first of all, thank you. And second of all, I have like a vomit bucket on stage that I sort of bedazzled. Like it's a whole moment in the show.
Right.
But I haven't like actually figured out what to do if I vomit. I had no plan, so I think I swallowed. Okay, I swallowed. I didn't spit because I didn't have a plan for spitting.
When I'm sick and I throw up, I'm completely out. Like, there is no way I'm getting back up. So,
yeah.
Hey, guys, not me. I would keep going.
Wow. Okay.
It's just scary because you don't know what the audience's reaction would be. And unfortunately, one person could also throw up. Like, you don't know if you're going to set
a chain reaction.
A chain of throw-ups. Because the amount of times I've seen a friend throw up that I'm taking care of and then I almost throw up is too frequent. I mean, it's not frequent, but that's usually a reaction.
It's a big bucket.
You're like, come on stage.
Come on stage and bomb.
For each show, do you have like a regime of workout routines you're going to do, or are you just flying by the seam of your pants?
Well, here's the thing, Blair. You're going to have to come see it.
Okay.
Blair will be in attendance and find out for himself. But first, because you have this incredible show, Exhaustion Power, we have a game for you today based on the show. We have a game that we love to play on this podcast called Heaven or Hell. And this is going to be a game where you are going to be ranking if these different activities sound like heaven, hell, or if you say, I don't care at all, purgatory, if you're ambivalent. Okay, so because you have this show, we have some different activities, which I would deem very exhausting. And so you're going to decide if these exhausting activities are heaven, hell, or purgatory for you. Okay,
Slay.
Blair, do you want to kick us off with our first one?
Absolutely. Participating in the NYC Triathlon, where the body of water you have to swim in is the Hudson River.
Hell.
I've actually always been a little interested. I've been always a little interested in the Hudson River swimming. I could be interested. I'd actually say this sounds like heaven for me, but I don't think I'm in shape to.
I'm not really a good swimmer, so that would not be for me.
That's not for you. Okay.
I would like
That's
doggy
okay.
paddle the whole way, you know?
I would just drown.
The next one. Joining a CrossFit gym after learning that your crush works the front desk.
Okay, heaven. I'm doing it. Okay, where's my crush?
Oh, amazing. I'm scared of CrossFit culture, but that is very much Blair's culture. He works the front desk at CrossFit.
Unfortunately, Blair, you are not my crush.
Well, here's what's so funny. I have a free membership there because I help out with the gym. Because he's short staff, a lot of people during COVID just disperse. So I'm like, yeah, I'll volunteer my time. So there's been a couple of times where I've had to lead a class. So I'm literally, if you hate working out, you will love my class. Because I'm like, okay, here's what you got to do. But you don't have to do that. In fact, if you want to change some things, like I'm very loosey-goosey.
That's really
By the way,
funny.
this gym is closing. So I don't think I'm helping.
For sure.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Okay, but you're okay. You're okay with CrossFit culture, Leanne? You're
I
okay
don't
with
really
that?
know
You can get
what
into that.
the culture is. My understanding of
I feel like
CrossFit,
it's like lifting and macros.
Yeah, my understanding of CrossFit is like there was like a gym or like maybe a protein shake commercial where it was like a big buff guy who's like, I pick things up and put them down. But I'm down, heaven.
Okay, next one, Blair.
Going tandem bike riding in Central Park on a first date with someone from Bumble.
I threw on Bumble because I feel like that might be the worst. I don't know.
Your face
And
says
also-
it all.
Complete hell. Absolutely not.
Complete hell.
But what if you stop to get hot dogs?
Why would that help?
Well, it's a snack. So you're exercising, which
Would
you
you
said
say,
you love.
is
and
there
then eating hot
is there
dogs.
any date number that would make it heaven? A 10th date? A 2-year
Yeah.
anniversary?
Yeah, 2-year anniversary. If it was my 2-year anniversary, heaven.
Okay, so
because
it's
you
really
know
the
what?
fact
At
that
that
it's a
point,
first.
it doesn't matter what we do as long as we're together.
Okay, next one. Helping your friend move from a 5th floor walk up to another 5th floor walk up in exchange for pizza and beer.
I'm kind of purgatory on that one. It depends on the friendship for me. If it's somebody who has maybe helped me move in the past or somebody who I'd feel comfortable asking to help me move in the future, then I'd probably do it for them too.
What about friend of the pod, Rebecca? Your dear friend.
I would do anything for Rebecca. I would literally lay my body down in the middle of the street.
What if the pizza she brought is Domino's? Does that change anything?
Well, yeah, because Domino's actually has really good gluten-free pizza.
Okay.
So thank you, Blair, for
You're
seeing
welcome.
me and my gluten-free life.
Are welcome.
Thanks, Queen.
Okay, so this is kind of a purgatory. It really depends on the friend, unless it's Rebecca.
So basically, it's heaven if it's Rebecca and hell anybody else.
Okay, great.
Perfect. Well, now your friends know.
Does that
Now
help?
they know. Perfect. Okay, next one, Blair.
Hiking up the difficult trail in Runyon Canyon with a new friend where this is their first time hanging out one-on-one.
Yes, heaven. Because then by the end of it, I'll know if they're like worthy of my friendship or not. Because I'll know how.
Oh, so it's like a friend test.
Yeah, totally.
I actually have been in this scenario not at Runyon Canyon. Do you know the difficult? There's an easy path at Runyon and difficult ones. I just wanted to make sure it was specific.
Okay, but also not to be crazy, but the difficult one at Runyon like isn't that hard.
Okay, well,
Okay, well.
I mean, it's not that hard, but you are like scrambling up some rocks, don't you think?
Sure, but that's beautiful and fun to me personally and my new friend.
If they make it.
If they make it.
I think one time I went on a hike with a friend, the first time we ever hung out one-on-one, and I was like, this is fun, but also it was kind of humiliating to be a little out of breath sometimes when you're trying to like have your first conversations with someone. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it was
yeah.
good, but also it was
So
like
true,
that's
bestie.
But also, it's showing your vulnerability and you're opening up to them about
Yeah.
how fucking exhausted you are. And they're like, I see you.
Okay, last one. Okay. Competing in a long game of beer pong with a group of randomistas while your friends are inside at the party.
I think purgatory on this one. It depends if I'm winning or not. Because if I'm winning beer pong, then I'm having a good time, baby. And it also depends on the group of strangers. Like, is this my new friend group? Am I leaving my friend group that's inside behind, sort of, tonight? Or am I gaining a new friend group? Am I going to, like, and I'm going to link up all these friend groups. And then by the end of the year, we're all in new couples with each other. Like, we leave our significant others. Like, we're all together now. Like, what is happening tonight? So it's very like, this story could kind of go any way. And I feel.
But I love that the root of it is beer pong.
The root of it is beer pong. And I do enjoy a good game of beer pong. So I would play.
Okay.
Yeah, fun.
A good game of beer pong. What does that even mean? I enjoy a classy game of beer pong. Put me in, coach.
Feel the whoa with Listerine at BJ's. You can save $2.50 now on Listerine products like Total Care Anti-Cavity Fluoride Fresh Mint Mouthwash or Cool Mint Pocket Packs Fresh Breath Strips at your nearest BJ's location. Experience the feeling of a million germs zapped in seconds with Listerine. Discount available through December 24th. Save now, only at BJ's.
Dan Mancini from Mama Mancini's. My grandmother cherished the family meal. It was a time to relax and enjoy a delicious, wholesome dinner together. It's our mission to deliver authentic Italian recipes made with the same real ingredients my grandmother used. Mama Mancini's classic Italian meatballs and slow-cooked sauce is available in the deli department at your local Publix and supermarkets across the country. Fully cooked and ready to serve, just heat and eat. Visit MamaMancini's.com to find the closest store near you.
We've come to the portion of the podcast, which I think you know why you're here. You've done something in which it might be hard to tell if you're in the right or the wrong, and Blair and I are going to help you out and help you decide. So whenever you're ready, take us away.
Okay, so this story is about playing the game Assassins in the Brooklyn comedy community in fall of 2021.
Wow. Okay, take us back.
Really setting the scene. Do you know the game Assassins?
I kind of do, but please explain for listeners.
Yeah. So the game Assassins is like everybody gets a target. Everybody who signs up gets a target. It was like a famous game. It was a popular game to play in like your high school or whatever, or at camp or something. And we played it within somebody organized it. Someone named Michelle Gold organized it I was just checking in my brain if I was saying the name right. Michelle Gold organized it in shout out Michelle in Brooklyn, alt indie comedy scene, sent out the signups like via Instagram. We all signed up and everybody got a target and somebody else had you as a target. And the ways that you could take that person out, assassinate them, was you would spray them with water. Like we all had these little water shooters. So you'd spray them with water, or you could like put a Post-it note on their back or something. But it all had to be done outside of like a comedy show. You couldn't do it at a comedy show. There were like a few rules. You couldn't do it at an open mic.
That would be rough.
Yeah. It'd be rough if you could. You had to be like outside of the premise of those situations. So we all had our targets. And once you got your target out, then you inherited whatever target they had until there was one person left. And I think in fall 2021, it was the first time this had been played in Brooklyn ever. Brooklyn is shaking. And I think like maybe 60 or 70 people signed up or something.
Whoa.
I might be wrong. There might have been like 100 or there might have been like 30. I literally might be wrong in any way. But there were definitely a decent amount of people who signed up, and we were taking people out one by one. I was really sort of a sleeper agent in this game, but I was taking it seriously. Like I had a few people on the outside who I was taking it maybe like too seriously, but didn't like brag about it, I think. And so I was kind of like softly murdering people and softly taking people out.
Yes.
And I made my way till the final 3. Wow. I made my way to the final 3. Okay. There was a mass. It was like throughout the month of October. So it was a spooky time. By the time we got to October 31st, when it was supposed to be done, there were like still like 20 people left. So Michelle took out anybody who hadn't like killed anybody yet. So there were only like 8 of us left after that. And then we had 1 week to get everybody out.
Uh-huh.
Or like nobody would win, or we'd do like some sort of shootout or something. So I sort of pulled out all the stops, and I got myself down to the final 3. And this is where the morally questionable thing happened.
Okay, perfect.
So here is the setup is that the final 3 were myself, someone who I actually can't remember the name of.
That's okay.
I
Shout
believe
out.
I believe his name is Kevin. Shout out Kevin. I believe his name's Kevin. And then my friend and dear longtime friend Tim Meyer. Shout out Tim Meyer. A lot of shout outs.
Yeah, there's a lot
today.
of shout outs today.
Tim had sort of taken the game quite seriously, and was like had made a separate account for his assassin. We all had like code names. I was what was I? I was some sort of bird, and Tim was like a rat. Like Rat was his name, and like we didn't necessarily know who was who, but you could figure it out by the time we got there.
Mm-hmm.
And he had like made a separate account for the rat. The rat had like he'd murdered like 10 people along the way. Like he really went hard. So I was sort of in this top 3, and my target was Tim. And I
sounds like a movie.
I recruited. It truly was. I started to get really sneaky at that point because I knew I'd have to trick, because I knew he knew that I had him, and I knew I'd have to like really trick him because I knew he would just be like on edge around me. So I recruited Tim. For context also, Tim and I went to college together. We were on our college improv team together.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So very longtime friends. And I recruited our other friend from our improv team, Patrick, and sort of with the guise of saying, you have to help me because women finally need to win something, sort of bullying him to help me backstab Tim ultimately. And I went to a bar, and that my local bar, who like the bartenders knew me and everything, and I hid behind. I had Patrick asked him to like come get drinks because they hadn't seen each other in a while, and I hid behind the bar.
Mm-hmm.
And Pat was sitting at the bar, and Tim walks in, and Pat sort of in his eyes was like, you know, scared for Tim.
Right.
Yeah.
And he didn't really, he was really the moral question, because he was like, I feel terrible doing this to my friend. And I was like, you know, who do you help? Which friends do you help? But I like, you know, my morally questionable thing was just sort of, well, I don't know. You
wait. So you're sitting behind the bar.
I think I'm perfect. I'm behind the bar.
Yes.
Tim walks in. He walks up, and the bartender gives me like a signal behind the bar, like taps me, and I like jumped up and shot Tim with the water gun.
And what did Tim's face
and
look
he
like?
really he was upset. Ultimately, he did feel betrayed, and I felt terrible. And then I took out Kevin as well, and I did win Assassins ultimately.
Well, first of all, congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. To take out Kevin, I also like really created a scheme and like employed a lot of people to help me.
Yeah.
Well, the first person that I had taken out, recruited them to send Kevin a message that they knew where I was, to like bait Kevin to come to that place where I was actually hiding outside behind a car, because the first person that I had killed sort of like messaged saying that Rebecca was going to meet me somewhere and wanted to like give Kevin this tip because I took them out first. So they wanted Kevin to win, but obviously it was all just a ruse, and I had asked them to say that.
What is your relationship with like all these people that you've assassinated? Was it strained for a while?
No, it was okay. I think, you know, ultimately it was a game, but I definitely tricked a lot of people and betrayed a friend.
With the ascension to the top, that can cause...
With the ascension to the top, that can cause...
Yeah, it can cause a rift, you know?
To break glass ceilings, a girl boss has to have a hammer in hand.
That is true.
So true. So true.
And she might be swanging that hammer around trying to break the glass.
Okay, so
she just swanging.
Patrick and Tim, what is their relationship like now? And what was it kind of like in the aftermath?
We are all like very dear friends from our improv team, and like we still are, and like sort of will be in love with each other forever, because that's what improv is just sort of loving each other till the end of time.
I guess what I'm getting is like, did this make an impact? Like, did that harm their relationship at all, do you think?
I don't think it harmed their relationship. I think potentially Tim was maybe mad at me, rightfully so, for a little while, because I had sort of schemed and bamboozled him.
Has this come up in conversation, the infamous night, since?
Not really. We talked about it a lot that night. Like, we definitely sat down after and debriefed on the pain I had caused.
Sure.
But afterwards, I think it was, clear that it was simply a game, and a girl boss got to do what a girl boss got to do.
Did this game continue? Like, did it happen again in 2022? And if so, did you participate?
It happened again in 2022. I did not participate because I had famously moved to LA, so I could not sort of participate anymore.
And did Tim, did he participate, do you know, in 2022?
I don't know. I actually don't know. But Assassin, they tried to do it this year. It brought the community together. I have to be honest. It was a beautiful thing.
Blair, what are you thinking?
I mean, I could go either way. I mean, on the positive, girl bossing. You had a plan.
Girl bossing.
You used people because you know how to properly assassinate like a good assassin should. You used people.
Thank you.
But on the other hand, you used people. Your friend that you murdered in cold blood with water. You had done improv with him since college, and those bonds are precious,
They are.
And it sounds like because of like such a bloodbath that it caused a ripple, that trying to get games started in years since has been even difficult. So it's like,
I don't think that's on me. I don't feel like that's.
I don't know. You set the
decide.
gold standard. People are like, how can we live up? We're just going to look like a loser in comparison,
Did you feel like you actually had to move? Is that kind of why you moved to LA, is because of this?
There it is.
Well, I think it was nice to be like, well, I've sort of hit the top. I've sort of lived New York to the fullest. Might as well pop off. But no, it had absolutely nothing to do with it.
Can I point something out, though?
But thank you.
When Sterling asked that question, your voice went up. You went, well. So I think in some
I'm a singer.
She is a singer. She is a singer.
I'm a singer. I'm actually on a singing show tomorrow. I'm actually on one of those singing shows tomorrow.
Heard of it?
And I'll see you in it. I have tickets.
And Sterling's actually going to be there.
Okay.
So.
I'll be there.
Okay.
Blair, where will you be?
I will hopefully be trying to coerce Sterling into FaceTiming the show.
FaceTiming in. Our friend of the pod, Kelsey's show. But unfortunately, when you'll be listening to this, it's done. But you can see her again soon, I'm sure.
That's actually true.
Okay, interesting. I guess I'm just trying to figure out, Leanne, is like, was there really like any major positive impact or negative impact? It seems like there was maybe not a lot of negative impact because all the friendships remain. Has it been positive for you, like for your own self-esteem and self-worth, being like, hey, I beat out 60 comedy Brooklyn pals in 2021, and now actually I think I could do anything, and I'm taking Hollywood by storm with only because of the confidence I have. And by pals, quote unquote, boys named Kevin, we can't really remember their last names, but pals at the time.
Everybody in Brooklyn is named Kevin.
So true.
So true, bestie. Yeah, I mean, it definitely invigorated me to be awesome, but I already was awesome. So it's hard to say that it like really changed me, but it was a very, I am proud of it.
Is it on your LinkedIn?
No, but I think maybe it should be.
And
I think it's a big accomplishment. I think I like should be celebrated more for it even.
Would you say, like, looking back,
this
when
is
you
the
were
morally questionable.
when you were
Me celebrating with
when you were debriefing with Tim, was it like, did you think in your head like, okay, ultimately, like, he's saying, like, well, this is against the rule or something, like, you betrayed me or whatever. You're like, were you thinking in the moment, like, hey, dude, if you had thought of this idea, you probably would have done it?
Probably, yes.
Okay.
I think the only thing that I'll add is that Tim and I were both depressed at the time. And
that puts us even more in the neutral.
No
You're both
what,
depressed.
We'd both be upset.
I don't know. I think the more I hear your story, I think I have my judgment. I'm going to say that you worked hard. And based upon this new information that was brought to the table about the depression, and as someone who takes
about the disease,
depression, I take pills for it. And anything you can...
I do too, Queen.
Yeah, anything you can do to get yourself out of that funk, even if it is murdering fellow Kevins, then you got to do it. And another thing, with your friendship, he didn't think of all this stuff. So in a way, this was a teachable moment on your behalf because you were showing him how to correctly assassinate Brooklyn comedians. So I'm going to say good behavior.
Thank you, Queen.
Wow.
It's called leadership.
Thank you.
You leadered.
You went off and leadered.
I think what this story reminds me of is how important it is to support local business. And what
true.
this story is really teaching me is that you're supporting local business. And you're going to say, huh? No. The only way a bar establishment would let you go behind a bar is if you had gone to that bar many a time. Spent many
I celebrated multiple birthdays there. And
really been an integral part of your community, which is all we really should be doing in this day and age.
Is
That's
drinking.
huge. That's huge. supporting the economy and also being nice. And so it's showing me that you did a lot of legwork, right? You probably spent years establishing those relationships, and that's really important. And I say this, sometimes people can't think of ideas, and that is okay. Just because you came up with it and you look like the bad guy, we all know if you had thought of that idea, it would have been in reverse. And it seems like everything turned out for the best. You feel amazing. And it sounds like this is what kind of was the kicker for you to move to LA, which is so happy for me because you're here.
And you're prospering.
Okay, well, Leanne, you've been officially deemed
good behavior.
I feel pretty epic.
Oh, amazing. Well, we have a little reward for you today. Sometimes it can be a little scary thinking of an acceptance speech when you receive such an amazing award such as good behavior. So we've written a little speech for you that we're going to send to you in the chat.
Whoa. This is a shocking. I mean, not that shocking, because I did graduate from the extremely prestigious NYU Tash School, starred in the critically acclaimed off-Broadway hit Puffs, and have many famous Instagram followers. Okay, this is psychotic. So I guess it shouldn't be too surprising that ultimately I am perfect, but I never get tired of hearing it.
Wow, what a gorgeous speech.
That was beautiful.
Can you tell listeners where they can follow you and if you have any upcoming shows or anything to plug?
Instagram, I guess.
Don't give like a handle.
Oh, for sure. It's Leanne Veli, Leanne, V like victory, ELY.
And that's our show. Thanks so much for listening today.
We absolutely hate to do this. We hate it.
But it would mean the world to us if you can subscribe to the podcast wherever you get podcasts, rate and review.
Follow us at Bad Behavior NYC on Instagram and TikTok. Thanks again for listening.
And remember, whatever your moral status, we are always here to judge.
Bye.
Do you think that was good?
The new COVID-19 vaccine is now available. The Fulton County Board of Health has updated COVID booster shots and flu vaccines to fight the latest variants of each illness. Remember, vaccines work. We've done an excellent job of staying up to date on vaccines, reducing the number of illnesses in our community. Continue to protect yourself and others by making an appointment at the nearest Board of Health location. The Fulton County Board of Health is here to serve you. Stay current. Visit FultonCountyBOH.com or call 770-520-7500 for more info.
Fargo, the new virtual assistant from Wells Fargo, makes banking faster and easier. Like this.
Fargo, what's my checking account routing number?
And this.
Fargo, turn off my debit card.
And this.
Fargo, what did I spend on groceries last month?
And that's just the beginning. Do you, Fargo? You can in the Wells Fargo mobile app. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/getfargo.
Terms and conditions apply. Your mobile carrier's availability and message and data rates may apply. Wells Fargo Bank, N.A., member FDIC.